Oh, well, I don't know where I was going with that, but it went there.
Welcome in, everyone. Welcome to B&T Sportstalk show. Thanks for joining us as we can finish up the end of the NBA Finals here. Game 7, Indiana and Oklahoma City. We'll get into more of the game as we get to the end here, but Indiana's still making it a little bit interesting. About 4 minutes left. About a 12-point game or so. Foul. Looks like they're looking... I don't know what they're reviewing, actually, now I'm looking at it. But anyway, welcome in. We appreciate y'all. Go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. B, how you doing, man?
Good, man. Sad that the way this game is about to come to an end. Although a big comeback from the Pacers wouldn't be a bad idea, but man, oh man,
everybody turned it off already.
We've had the third Achilles taken by the NBA playoffs this year.
Yep.
This is terrible, man. And there's nothing you could do to prevent an injury like that. It's part of a basketball movement. It has nothing to do with how many games they played or anything like that. It's just it happens.
Dude, this is almost on point with the the KD thing. I feel like was a bigger deal because of the two teams involved, obviously, but it kind of has that feel to it. It kind of takes the air out of the game.
It just sucks it right out of the gym.
Yeah, it's rough. That's rough, man.
Then went to go see the Golden State Valkyries on Thursday. Overpaid for watch Caitlin Clark in women's basketball, but it was great. I'm going to tell you this. We'll talk about it a little more, but the atmosphere, the Bay Area is happy to have women's basketball.
Yeah, man.
It was exciting, man.
Yeah, no, I think it's cool that they were able to get the sellouts going. They got season ticket holders in there, so yeah, it's a good stop.
Over 10,000 season ticket holders.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Yeah, man. I mean, watching this game, it's been a little tough since Hallie went down. I think Indiana did a good job of keeping it close earlier in the game, but we knew this was going to happen eventually. They just don't have the firepower.
But they have that defense.
They have the defense,
and that's what's. This thing was an 18-point lead early in the fourth quarter. It is now down to 12 right now, and they are back to picking up a full court defense.
They are. Yep. OKC had to call a timeout because they couldn't even inbound the ball. So 4 minutes left. It's a 12-point game. If they can cut it to single digits, you might be cooking with something. We'll see, man. And
if they had it in single digits to start the fourth quarter, I would have been a little more confident with this comeback. But they did the polar opposite there. But I mean, you can't take nothing away from OKC either. And Indiana's been fighting, man. This game could be easily a 30-point game right now.
Yeah,
it easily could be. But their defense is still chugging along. Pascal Siakam is starting to, he's going to have to do a 4-minute takeover here at the end of the game. It's all got to run through him.
Yeah. No, they've got to move fast and get shots up in a hurry. They were doing a good job of getting to the free throw line late in the game to keep the time on the clock. So I thought them being aggressive has helped a lot. But, man, I mean, this thing got to a game 7. And, again, it's just kind of like if Indiana can make this interesting, it will be the greatest thing anybody's ever seen in life. But like I said, I think the story with Hallie going down is going to be probably will end up being the biggest story of this whole thing, which is kind of a,
How many people do you think are watching this right now?
Dude, I'm sure, it was funny because
besides us.
Not many, because I was talking to my wife and I said, we're going to finish up the NBA Finals today on the show. And my wife was like, wait, what? It's still going? And that right there is all I needed to know. I mean, if you're a big, hardcore basketball fan, you're definitely watching this series. It's a great series. But if you're just the average, fan who watches sometimes, or maybe you don't really watch much sports at all, you're probably not watching this Finals.
They could turn this into a single-digit game or 10.
TJ spinning in circles and loses the ball. Yeah, TJ got to pass that thing, man.
Dude, he's been
on fire. I'll give it to him. He's been playing well, but
the turnovers that he's had, dude, he's just putting himself in just bad positions every single time he's getting into the line. That's to the size of OKC.
Yeah.
But you can't really, Indiana's offense just looks stagnant.
Yeah.
There's a lot of standing around outside the 3-point circle. and nobody cut into the basket, and everyone's crashing to the boards when the shot's up. But dude, run a play, get something to the hoop. You need it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is, OKC's defense is also pretty good, and it's kind of been a struggle for them to score. But if you look at it, 81-93, 3 minutes to play. This really hasn't been a high scoring game for really either one of these teams. Looks like OKC got the ball back off the tip. 3 minutes, 3:20 mark.
Does a 3-pointer end it here?
It starts to get late. I'll say it like that. Although the defense by McConnell, man,
he is not letting SGA get anywhere
that was
a
great defense. Oh, and he gives it right back. Yeah. TJ, you can only do certain things, buddy. You can only do certain things.
Man.
The Pacers really have to look into getting a point guard this offseason if this doesn't go well.
He's their only. It's not going well. What you mean?
They got to get a point guard, man, because stuff like that, man. That's where you need a veteran point guard to just handle the rock. Like that. This is a pivotal moment in the game. Obviously, it's going to be a mountain for them to climb anyway. But TJ McConnell did such a great job on defense, and then just kind of he's trying to dribble and got stripped. He wants the foul, but when you're a guard like that, you're that low to the ground. A guy shouldn't be able to pick the ball from you like that.
That was a good. I give him that. That was a good head first slide into the half court line, though.
Yeah, no, great slide, wrong sport. Great slide, wrong sport. Wrong sport. Yeah, man.
I think these free throws should put an end to it there. Although both teams aren't shooting well free throw wise.
Yeah.
OKC's 14 of 22.
Yeah, it hasn't been pretty. It hasn't been pretty, honestly. And you know what? One thing I've learned from watching this, and this is going to sound foolish to some people, but our teams, like the Warriors and the Lakers, are not that far off. Because I'm watching these teams play, and to be honest with you, these teams cannot score. Now, these are some of the best team ball I've seen played. Very balanced teams. Three there. That cut it to 10. Oh, and they leave.
Ooh, that was a tough one.
And they leave. Yeah, this is over, bro. That was
travel.
I mean, how do you leave them behind to play though? Like, come on.
How do you leave the world's tallest, one of the tallest guys on the floor? How do you lose them?
He's got the biggest head and the smallest shoulders. Chet Holmgren.
They can't get into look. It's 10 points, one timeout left.
Yeah.
So.
You need threes. You need quick twos.
Full court deep. Never mind. They broke it.
Yeah.
Did you see them starting to do the introductions?
Oh my god. No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, they brought back the introductions before the. Oh, what in the world was that?
Yeah, that was a bad.
They brought back the introductions before and the national anthem.
There you go.
They need to put the logo back on the damn court though, not this hologram shit.
Yeah, no, they definitely need to do that. Go old school as Neesmith gets a stupid foul.
You said it's the chair's fault.
That was a very bad foul. I mean, SGA was at the half court line and he just jumped right in from.
Yeah,
like, dude,
what are you falling for?
Just jump straight up, my man. You don't have to jump on him.
You don't have to jump. Period. It's a trap. Literally, it's a trap.
Good point, B. Good point.
What are you doing jumping on a trap? You're supposed to just I pause, swallow them up.
Whoa, what?
You know what I mean, right?
Yeah, I got you. Just trap them is what he's trying to say.
So who is the NBA Finals MVP?
I don't know. They probably give it to Shea.
I would say Jalen Williams.
You think Jalen Williams? Yeah.
I think so.
I guess you can't go wrong with that either. Let me bring up the box score because Jalen Williams he's sitting at 17. Nah, Shea's got 29, bro. Shea's getting it, man.
Jalen dropped a 40 piece in Game 5, I think.
Yeah, but SGA has been the most consistent player this whole finals. Like he's been over 30 points almost every single game.
I think there's another missed free throw.
They ain't gonna do him. Like Indiana's doing everything to kind of not win this game right now, but
it's bad, man.
As they ain't gonna do to SGA what they did to Steph Curry. I'll just say it like that.
Which one?
When they gave it to Andre Iguodala.
Oh yeah,
That was stupid.
LeBron James still averaged a triple double, but let's give him. He's playing great defense.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's exactly why we won the championship. I don't think so.
There you go. See, Trap with not fouling.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah.
I spoke too early.
They fouled. Yeah, well, this is it.
Before the finals end, should we get into KD?
Yeah, let's
talk about KD.
Let's talk about it. So it was announced earlier today by Sham Charania that who's just been breaking all the news ever since old Peabody left. What's that guy's name? Who cares? Peabody. You know what I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking
Peabody.
About.
Yeah, he looks like
not Wojnarowski.
Yeah, Wojnarowski.
No, it was not Wojnarowski.
Yeah, Woj. Woj was doing all the bombs.
Oh, it was. Remember? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and then Woj retired, and then or whatever. I don't know how did he retire. I don't know. Whatever. He left, and now Shams is the guy now. But anyway, he reported the KD trade. KD was between two teams, the Heat and the Houston Rockets, and he ended up choosing the Houston Rockets. I say he chooses because it doesn't seem like Suns had anything to do with this deal other than signing a piece of paper because it's the most crappiest deal on earth. Let's talk about it, B. So the Rockets get KD. They give up Dylan Brooks, Jalen Green,
to be expected,
5 second-round draft picks, and the number 10 pick in the upcoming draft. That's it. The number 10 pick. And
you know who the Warriors could have given up for KD?
I mean Kuminga draft pick.
Trace Jackson Davis. They could have given up Brandon Pajemski and a bucket of Steph Curry's favorite popcorn. Could add KD.
Dude, I mean, seriously, to be able to flip Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks for Kevin Durant, that's kind of crazy. And I know some people are like, Kevin Durant, he'll never win and blah, blah, blah. And I understand that. Maybe he's some issues he's had as a teammate and issues with coaches and whatever. But ultimately, just face value, just on paper, it looks ridiculous. Jalen Green has been one of the most inconsistent players this entire season. He was very inconsistent in the playoffs. He gave you 31 game 3 the next. Dylan Brooks, come on, really?
Do we have to talk about him?
Come on. And so the real question is, what are the Suns doing? What are they doing? Like this team that they've assembled, they didn't get any young talent outside of 5 second-round draft picks in the number 10.
You don't know what you're gonna get out. You don't know
right. Number 10 overall. Who's that gonna be? I have no idea. It ain't Cooper Flagg, that's for sure. So it's like, who are you gonna draft? And do they just need to start over? What? Devin Brook and Bradley Beal should be the next guys on the ship out. I thought that they were going to try to just completely redo this thing from jump, but getting Jalen Green, who is already kind of past the years of potential, we'll say, and we kind of know what he is. He's not going to get that much better, if at all. We know what Dylan Brooks is. He's a veteran player. I just don't understand what the Suns are trying to do going forward, man.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense there because you have the opportunity to basically just, hey, we messed up. Like, acknowledge it. You screwed this up big time. Yeah. And instead of kind of putting a building team together, that team's not a win now team.
No.
I'm sorry. Bradley Beal can't stay on the court for half a season. Devin Booker just needs to get out of there. Like, that man they did not do anything to build that roster around him because they gave up too much to get KD to Phoenix. Bradley Beal, they gave up too much to get him. So now you're kind of stuck with, nothing. And who's the point guard for that team still?
What the hell, man? They still don't have a point guard. They've been suffering from lack of a point guard since Chris Paul left. And they've never been able to fill that void. And it doesn't make any sense what they're doing on the Sun side. In my opinion, they should have got as much young talent as they could get from Houston. I know that Houston wasn't going to let go of Amin Thompson. We know that. But you still got Jabari Smith Jr. They got, what's the other kid they got? There's some other guys on that roster. I have to look at the Houston roster. I got to be honest.
Fred VanVleet.
Yeah, they kept most of their team pretty much, except for Jalen Green. I don't see it unless Phoenix just really loved Jalen Green. I really don't see this being a win trade for the Suns. And I guess it shouldn't be because, let's be honest, they gave away too much to get him there anyway.
Yeah.
They gave up too much to get him there, especially after KD went to Brooklyn and that whole thing was just a big old dumpster fire. I don't see the point in, the point in the move that they made unless they trade Bradley Beal next and trade Devin Booker next and get a crap ton of draft capital. Now, if they do that and they try to mimic what Indiana and Oklahoma City have done, if they do that, then I'll say, okay, they're going to tank. That's no okay. I can at least I know what you're doing.
Live with that, yeah.
At least I know what you're doing.
Now we really don't know what they're doing because that roster sucks. I don't even think they're. I mean, they weren't a playing team last year. I don't even think they're going to be. I think the Spurs are going to have a better season than them.
Dude, just trash on top of trash, man. And here we are as the time winds down. 7 seconds. The Oklahoma City Thunder, a new franchise, young team, has just won the NBA championship. The first time this franchise has ever seen a championship.
Yep.
Good for them.
And at home, first game 7 for a lot of these players here. It was they were the best team all year.
They're the best. Yes, they deserve that. It was a little anticlimactic because of the injury to Halliburton.
Yeah.
But all in all, OKC was the best team. Now that OKC is the best team all season, 68 wins, won the championship, MVP, soon to probably be the MVP of the finals, SGA. As I said earlier, does this make SGA the best Thunder in the history of this franchise? And I'm talking about Seattle now. I'm talking about Oklahoma City. This is the best he is the greatest Oklahoma City Thunder player.
Yeah.
Boom!
He took it.
He did it. He did it.
The level of consistency that he played with in these finals too.
Yeah.
Never really had an off game. He made his team around him a lot better too. Is what you want from your star player. You can't ask for a better finish to this here.
Yeah.
And like you said, it sucks because I'm not going to put an asterisk next to this finals for them after Halliburton gets hurt. The fact is it took 7 games. We knew it was going to get that way there.
Yeah.
Both teams were phenomenal defensively. OKC just had a little more firepower there. The only thing that Indiana had going for them was their late game heroics.
Yeah.
On being able to come back because of their defense there. But realistically here, this was OKC's to really lose.
It was
for that there, and
they were the favorite. Yeah.
And they prevailed. They were big time favorites going into this finals. No one gave Indiana a chance.
Yeah.
And then when Indiana wins game 1 on the road, it kind of put a little shock to everybody there, right? And Indiana was like, "Hey, we're here just as well as anybody else. It deserves to be here." But at the end of the day, man, I picked the Pacers to win in 7. It's just the OKC team. This was a 2014-15 Warriors team that I saw in them, right? They have their MVP in SGA. Jalen Williams is, I'm not saying he's Klay Thompson-like, but he's a two-way player.
He's a protege.
And he can score there.
Yeah.
You have Chet Holmgren, a little bit of a freak of nature there. 7-footer, can run the court, shoot the 3. You got, Frankenstein in the middle, who basically
Frankenstein, yes.
Yeah. Okay. He just hogs up a lane, right? And he's there to rebound and get the motion going there, a la Andrew Bogut there. But their bench is what really helped ride this ship there. Oh, come on. We want to watch him cry. Just let him cry.
Yeah, now we got TJ McConnell. Unfortunately, we got Halliburton standing in the hallway on crutches to meet his team as they come through the locker room. And this is the Reggie Miller big hug for TJ McConnell. Man, yeah, it's a big moment for Indiana because this is the second time Indiana's been to the finals. Unfortunately, they've lost in both of those situations. But look, this team ain't going nowhere. I mean, Indiana's not just going to disappear. This is going to be a great team going forward. The East has yet to have anything special happen there outside of the norm. Giannis is staying in Milwaukee. We don't see a big change or power shift.
He's staying in Milwaukee. We're going after him now. We need to go after him after Kate signing with the Houston Rockets.
Well, I mean, Milwaukee is gonna want more than a bag of chips because that's what the Suns got for KD, which was ridiculous.
Hey, man, at this point, the way people are trading players and who they're trading for, I don't think we're gonna need to give up much. You know.
I think the trade for Desmond Bain got more. The trade for Desmond Bain got 4 first-round draft picks.
Unprotected.
4 first-round draft picks and 2, okay players. KD got traded for the same thing.
SGA wearing around his neck right now.
He's got some golden shoes on as he, yeah. So, man, again, folks, thanks for joining us. The game just ended. If you're joining us after the game, we watched the bitter end of this thing. 8 minutes to go. Indiana tried to make it interesting, but that did not happen. No. OKC without Halliburton I don't think was really going to be able to win this game.
Halliburton was hot, too.
He was.
3 straight threes, man. Yeah. And it kind of was he was on top of his game. And, dude, these hats suck.
It's that stupid ribbon, dude. What is that thing?
I don't know. They did that for the baseball, for the World Series hats too, and I think for the Super Bowl hats they had that ribbon on it too.
Yeah, but who told them to put a shoestring on the front of a hat? Like, it's stupid.
I don't know.
It looks ridiculous.
No wonder there's a shortage in shoelaces. They're on these hats.
Right. It's just dumb, man. But this is a great moment for this franchise, man. Great moment for this franchise. They get a chance to hoist that trophy. We'll see if they can keep this up in the next year. But you better believe me, and we talked about it before, man. The NBA is gonna make sure we gonna have some big names in and around the conference finals next year. I can promise you that, because
like never again.
A lot of people, as great as this series was for Oklahoma City and Indiana and in the surrounding areas, on the coast, wasn't a lot of people watching these games, man.
Except for Sacramento and in the Bay Area, the two of us was watching it.
Yeah, we watched it, but I don't know how many other folks that don't have a vested team in this thing was paying attention. And most folks, when it comes to the finals, the World Series, the Super Bowl, you get a lot of passive folks who just come in and watch. This was not one of those series, man. It's unfortunate. Hopefully, people might have missed something great, but yeah, man. Warriors and Lakers, man, we gotta make some moves this offseason, brother, because we need to be in this thing.
Because we all thought that Giannis would be the domino effect, right? Like when Giannis signed with the team, then the rest of that would happen. No one was expecting KD to be the first one to start making these kind of moves. Like, well, I was not expecting
the Suns needed to get something done before the draft, and I think that's what motivated them to get it accomplished now. I just don't understand the direction they're going in. Like, I understand, okay, you want to get the number 10 pick, cool. But I want young talent and maybe expiring contracts. I don't want Jalen Green. Taking on Jalen Green's contract is like trading for Zach LaVine.
Oh, it's SGA got his own commercial.
It's already. Gosh, already. They don't even wait. Is he going to Disneyland? What's happening?
I don't know.
He's going to Disneyland. This has to be the Disneyland commercial.
Nah, this ain't the Disneyland
it's
commercial.
Not Nike?
Nah. Is he a Nike athlete?
Converse? What? Yeah, he's a Converse athlete. Wow, well, good for Converse. I'll never wear Converse shoes. Sorry, they don't.
Listen, ain't nobody want blisters and
they are not comfortable, man. No. Oh man, but he's trying though. He's trying. Hey, I'm off topic, but have you seen the show where Shaq trying to renovate Reebok
with Allen Iverson as the vice president?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called a bad business decision.
He's struggling.
There.
He's struggling. Hey, don't diss Shaq now. Shaq
does a lot.
Shaq took Papa. What was that? Papa John's went from saying some weird crap. He got himself some social
better
trouble.
Ingredients, Papa John.
And then Shaq got involved, and all of a sudden it was back on top of the world. Hey man, Shaq makes some stuff happen, man. Icy hot. Think about it. Advertising everything.
Man up.
He used to be on Ring commercials. Remember, he had a part. He invested in Ring.
He does a lot, not only for businesses, but for the community as well.
Yeah,
like that man gives back a lot. So,
Shaq Claus.
But Reebok ain't signing no big ass athlete. Let's just put it like that, man.
Not really. They can sign me. I'll sign I'll be the cheapest ever. 20,000. What we need? We only need a little bit. Alex Alberto G. Thanks for joining us, man.
OKC Thunder championship is forever tainted as invalid as the Lakers bubble championship. You can't put it that way. You're not predicting someone to get injured, right? And Halliburton helped get this team to a game 7. This is not tainted here. I was talking about it earlier with my sister. You still got to show up and play. They
Yeah.
still had Pascal Siakam. They had Naismith, the guys who have made big have had big games in these postseasons. It's time to step up, and they didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't. They weren't gonna match his firepower regardless. They did as much as they could to stay within striking distance, but the minute that game got away from them in the third quarter, that was it. Like they just weren't recovering from that.
Yeah, and the other thing to keep in mind too is I think sometimes as fans we think that the championship is simply guys playing against each other, right? In that moment. You know what I mean? Like we're prisoners of the moment. So when we see these teams play, we think of it like they're fully healthy players that are playing in a finals game. The finals is not just about playing your best basketball. It's about being able to last and survive into the finals and still compete. Lots of teams fall short because of injury. They're not the only ones. But a lot of those teams that fell short in injury fell short early. Like, for instance, no greater example than what happened to the Warriors and Steph Curry, right?
Yeah.
What's the difference between Steph Curry getting injured now and getting injured in the finals? It's just a matter of time. It's timing. That's all. So I think I can't say that it's tainted because we deal with this every year. Every year somebody gets hurt, right? Every time a series ends in the playoffs, all of a sudden everybody's injured, right? Every time a team is sitting home, you hear about an injury from about another player. It happened when LeBron talking about his knee was hurt, had to have surgery. I think the same thing happened with Jimmy Butler getting injured earlier in the series. You had Steph Curry getting injured for the Warriors, and there were some other players along the way, including Tatum. Jason Tatum tore his Achilles. This stuff happens. If you want to win a championship, you got to be healthy enough to win a championship. That's a part of the marathon. The health is a part of the marathon.
Exactly, and you said it right. This is a marathon. It doesn't matter how many games you play in the season. What, you're going to have a 30-game season and then have a 3-month-long playoff? Like, no, you can't. You have to earn your right to be in the finals, right? This isn't something that's just handed to you. This is going to be a very long run. Yeah. And the NBA remember the NBA used to be a 5-game series in the first round. Yeah. And then after that it was 7. Then they said, you know what? No, we're making all four rounds 7.
They might change that too. You never know. I mean, if this continues to happen, I already said Tatum went down, Hallie went down. Who else went? There were
Lillard went down,
and then Lillard went down. Okay, well Lillard, he's a little older, but still same deal. So, but when we're seeing we're seeing young players go down with Achilles tears. This is not generally in the past. We didn't see young players go down with tears in their Achilles. That wasn't something that happened to younger players, right? We saw that happen to guys who were a little bit later at the later stages of their career, like Kobe Bryant or who am I thinking of? Kevin Durant as well. These guys are a little bit further along in their career, but to have it happen to younger players, I think is a little bit concerning. And I'd be curious if maybe the league does decide to do something and like what you're saying, go back to 5 games in the first and second round.
In-season tournament. Get rid of the in-season tournament. It's great. Don't get me wrong, it is great, but that's one thing we could do without, man. This is the ultimate prize. Ain't nobody care about a mid-season banner. That's not what you're playing for.
It's that, they're trying to do like the NFL, just take up space.
The NFL don't have a mid-season Super Bowl.
But now they've got a Christmas game, and
I could live with the Christmas. Yeah. I hate Christmas games, but I could live with it there. But if they put like a mid-season Pro Bowl in there, I'd have a problem with it.
And can we just say before we move, because I know we got another comment up, that Oklahoma City did it the right way, right? Remember, everybody talking about doing it the right way, and everybody's so mad at big market teams, and everybody's so upset about this and that. This team had to be pretty garbage for a few years. You know what I mean? They didn't do this once either. They did this twice. They drafted KD. They drafted Russell Westbrook. They drafted James Harden. Okay? Lost all of them. Traded them away.
It's funny. All 3 of them now have played with the Rockets.
Right. Yeah. Well, there you go. They're almost like the Rockets are almost going to be like the Clippers.
You go to OKC. Your next office is going to be in Houston.
Yeah. Then you go to the Clippers and live out the rest of your life. But hey, look, man. So I got to give it to OKC as a franchise. Is this Sam Presti? Sam Presti. That's who this. I believe that's who's still running it. They've done a great job of picking up as many draft much draft capital as possible, and I think they've laid out the blueprint to get it done. This championship cements the idea that it can be done, and that's why I'm saying teams like the Suns need to take note. If you tried and failed, you've got to start over again. So congratulations to the OKC Thunder.
The Grim Reaper.
The Grim Reaper. Adam Silver comes out. Man, it could be. We got Alex in the chat again.
SGA get the MVP.
I told you, man. I knew he was gonna get it. He's done something that no other Oklahoma City Thunder player has ever done. There you go.
Yep.
And
dude, just imagine the talent that's ran through OKC too.
Yes,
and this is the team that does it. Albert says the ratings are going to be even worse next season. Only LeBron games will get high ratings if it's his final season. Do you think it's his final season next year?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Do you think he waits until Bryce James gets to the league?
Yeah, so I think if as long as LeBron can stay healthy, he might play another year after. This will only be his final season. I think he'll play one more season. I could be wrong too, because Bron could retire tomorrow. Hell, I don't know. But if they have the opportunity to win a championship, or they sniff the championship, I think he might bow out. If it's a long title run or it's a long playoff run and they either lose or win, I think LeBron might go ahead and hang him up after that. I think that might be it. Just because I don't know how many more games he could play with these deep, playing deep into, May and all that. With his tired legs, he just came off of some injury that he had on his knee or whatever. So I don't know. But as far as ratings though, I think there are a couple of teams that can make some ratings. I mean, you just had KD go to Houston.
The Orlando Magic with their blockbuster deal for Desmond Van Adams.
I do not want to see Orlando anywhere near the finals. I'm sorry. But even with KD being in Houston, that's going to create a little bit of ripple. Like a little bit of ripple within the Western Conference stream is something to look out for.
We're still waiting to hear about Giannis too.
Yeah, and Giannis, if he makes a move. So it just depends on where the big names land and who ends up in the final. So let's say Oklahoma City makes it back and they end up playing a revitalized New York team or Celtics team. That'll draw more eyes. Now,
yeah, because then you'll have the city of New York, watching the finals, possibly burning down. We saw how quickly everyone was in New York on the verge of just like flipping every food vendor known to mankind had they won that Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, exactly. So I think if the big market teams can get involved, even if OKC's still there or Indiana's still there, if you can have a small market and a big market team, I think that'll help create that sort of David Goliath thing that the NBA might be looking for. But yeah, in this case where you have Indiana and OKC, a lot of fair weather fans are not going to watch this game. Let's keep it 100. Now, I don't know. And now if LeBron somehow gets back to the finals, I'm ecstatic because I'm a Laker fan. I would love that.
That means
I would love that.
In the finals.
LeBron would grow extra leg and head to be in the finals again. I've seen LeBron play in the finals, and although he's older now, there are a few, and I know, I'm not a LeBron fan. I just want to put it out there, but there are a few players that perform as well as LeBron does in the finals.
Yeah.
So I would love to see that. Now, who they play, I don't know. The league wants to see it, but keep in mind, there's some other teams out there. KD with Houston's interesting. The Warriors with their new team is interesting. Steph Curry in the Western Conference Finals, that's interesting. So there's some teams that could really push it for. It's just that this season, we got two teams that no one was really, expecting. A lot of that was because of injury too. Well, not a lot of it. Bottom line is Boston was going to lose that series. They were already down by the time Tatum got injured. So I don't know if that was going to have a huge effect. Hallie being healthy, I think may have made this game more interesting, but I don't know if it helps them win the game. So it could have gone. Maybe it changes it. Maybe it doesn't. But in my book, it's not just. If we could just get one big, you just need one big name or one big market team, and the other team could be anybody.
You've got it, but that's the thing. You have a big name. SGA is a big name.
No, it's the market. Is what I'm saying. The market.
Yeah, but that's not OKC's problem.
It's not. No, it's not. Not at all. Not at all.
And if OKC runs this back, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked again, dude. They damn near almost. They had 68 wins this season, and no one talks about it, right?
Yep.
Like they were on the verge of beating the Warriors record, and it went so silent. So silent, no one talked about it there.
Meanwhile, the Cavs were right there with them until that thing crashed. That thing just
That thing sunk quicker than the Titanic, man.
Yeah, that was terrible.
But the NBA needs to realize is that a lot of these teams are going to start getting younger, right? That generation of talent that we all grew up watching is going to be gone now. So there's going to be a new generational talent that takes this next reign, right? You just saw it happen. We got a finals with two teams that are young. OKC is just a better talented team. So get ready for this. Like, it's going to be like this for a while. And if you have teams like the Warriors, the Lakers, the Rockets just signing big name old farts, it's going to wear down after a while.
You have to get younger. I mean, that's really what it's about. I mean, I think we're seeing it firsthand. You've got to get younger. You mix it in as I see former Laker Alex Caruso win his second championship. Drives me nuts. We let this guy go. I don't know why. But anyway, yeah, man. So you got to get younger. And that's something that both our teams are going to have to do this offseason. And maybe we could talk about that a little bit more. But both the Lakers and the Warriors have to find a way to get younger and get some of that new young talent fused in with the OGs to make it work. Because these teams was flying all over the place. Now, they could honestly watch these games. I'm going to be real with you. They wasn't scoring all like that, though. I mean, there wasn't a lot of scoring in these games.
I knew this was going to be a case, though, for Game 7. Yeah, with not a whole lot of experience.
Yeah.
You saw a lot of rush shots. I think I've seen more air balls in a Game 7 than I've ever seen in any other Game 7. I think the first quarter, you can see the nerves happening, right, until the game kind of settled in. But that's what you're going to get with these with two new teams that never been in this situation, right? Conference finals, in the regular playoffs, Game 7s, yeah, it's big. There's nothing like a Game 7 with everything on the line for it, right?
In the finals.
In the finals here, the tension just gets that much higher. So
yeah, man. My favorite game of all time that I watched was probably one of the ugliest games I ever seen. It was the Celtics and the Lakers.
Hartenstein kid looks dead on TV right now. That boy is knocked out.
Why SGA had to tell him, hey man, hold your son's head, man. His head is falling. Like, there, you gonna break the baby's neck. Hartenstein, like, look, man, I'm a basketball player. I don't be with this baby. I rarely see this baby. Okay, I'm doing the best I can.
Right? Look, his kid's head still slouching out to the left. Oh my God! I wonder how OKC is gonna party tonight.
It's gonna be nice and calm. I mean, right? they're gonna turn up, but it ain't gonna be like New York or LA or Philly or some mess like that.
Because OKC doesn't have that much of a nightlife, if I recall. I mean, they have a downtown like any other place does, but
they just don't have the amount of people. That's what it comes down to.
It's probably going to be the lowest amount of people at a parade I've ever seen in my life, right? Like, how you get a million something showing up.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be about 20,000.
They'll all be there. We'll put it like that. All of them will be there. It's just not enough.
I guarantee they're stopping work
on. Are you kidding me? Their whole city's going to shut down. And let me also point out that this is a city that has been through some things. I mean, I know folks remember the Oklahoma City bombing and some of the things that OKC kind of went through, and their community has been forever changed since that moment. So kudos to them in the city for not only being able to get an NBA team.
I'm sorry, man. Hartenstein's kid just...
My man got the his kid's own bobble. So if you're not watching it right now, he's holding his son. His son's knocked out, but he's not supporting his head. You know when you hold a baby or a little kid, you kind of support their head.
Look at him.
His kid's head is like this. Like, it doesn't look natural. It doesn't look right.
First of all, how is it? I give props to the kid for even sleeping through all of that noise, because that arena is very loud right now.
Yes, as Converse gets the biggest commercial ever with them ugly shoes that SGA has on. Those are disgusting. Terrible, man. Those are terrible, bro.
What are they thinking?
Why is Sam Presti sweating so hard? Is he gonna cry? Man,
he's holding the look, man. He's holding his breath like he can't breathe. He got a fart coming. That's what he's got. He's just trying not to let that thing fly on the stage.
Oh, well, I guess we'll cover a little more. But we also have to talk about is the Lakers being sold.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot about that.
Apparently, people in America are so rich now that you could just buy crap like the teams for $10 billion. The Lakers were sold to whatever his name is, Walter, some rich guy, the same person that's a part of the group that owns the Dodgers. As the Lakers move out of the bust era and into the billions era, so I'm excited, and here's why. As I swig some water.
You ain't got the Bus family running that program no more?
Yeah, well, they're keeping Jenny Bus around, but yeah, you're right, a little bit. But I'm excited because, man, now we got deep pockets. Now all of a sudden the pockets got a little bit deeper. And I think in the front office that there will be some changes. I think they make some changes in the front office, bring in more consultants, and not be afraid to go into the luxury tax. I think that might change too because when it was a family-owned business, the Lakers avoided that luxury tax like the plague. But whenever you got owners like Joe Lacob or you got owners like Ballmer with the Clippers, these guys don't care. They're like, whatever, man. Just give me a championship. I don't care what's the tax penalty. Whatever. I don't care. I don't pay taxes in regular life. Anyway.
Ballmer literally built a stadium with his own money. Like all that is just revenue in his pocket now. It's disgusting.
It's crazy. So I look for some new changes. I think this definitely cements the fact that Luka's going to stay there because now you have this partnership between the Dodgers and the Lakers under the scope of the LA sports teams.
Great.
And you see what they did with the Dodgers, right? They just threw so much money at it that it couldn't even breathe anymore. And so although you can't do that in the NBA because there's a salary cap, they at least won't be afraid to take some of those deeper cuts that the Buss family weren't necessarily willing to take. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it definitely means that when someone comes to the table and says, hey, we have an opportunity to sign this guy or get this guy, but it's going to put us in the penalty or past the first apron penalty.
There's going to be no question.
He's going to be like, I'm sorry, what does that mean? I don't understand. So are we getting him or not? Okay, my bad. I'm sorry. I thought you, okay, never mind. And then just make the deal.
You know what he's going to hand off to the GM? He's going to be like, look, here's 10 blank checks. All right. There's no budget limit.
Right. Go get
whoever you need.
Go get
right?
it.
Because, playoffs, finals, TV ratings, all that generates revenue, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to recover that.
You're going to make it back. Yeah. Yeah. And not only that, but the salary cap, we haven't heard, I don't think I've heard anything from the NBA about what the new salary cap is going to be.
Every team is getting a bump because of the TV contract.
Yeah, because of the TV deal. Yeah. So, money's coming out of water.
Not only do the Lakers get sold for $10 billion, right? But then you have the TV contracts that are going to take into effect this coming season that also, I think that was $1 billion contract. So the teams are going to benefit from all of this.
Yeah.
So like these mid-level teams, right? Teams that couldn't get that big time player because of the money, but now they're going to have the money.
Yeah.
And so you may see a little more competition with teams trying to sign, right? Because of these big deals. But I mean, just back to the Lakers though, it's like this is a big deal for a family that built the Forum, that built the Staples Center, now Crypto, who kind of set what it meant for celebrities to be at a game, right? Because remember, at the Forum, they were the first ones to have a pregame party with all your celebrities, and then the after party as well.
Yep. They really created the new culture of the NBA, which was really built around celebrity. And so I think they also help expand the game too, because you got to think about it. Not only were they able to build the culture in the LA area, but by drafting players like Magic Johnson, by drafting players like James Worthy, by trading for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and those moves created that rivalry between Boston and LA, which revitalized the entire NBA. And so because the NBA for a while was not doing too well, and there were times where it was unorganized, unorderly, and there was some questionable happenings in the locker rooms and whatnots. But that when the Lakers, Chick Hearn, and the Celtics and that rivalry brought that together. It really pushed the NBA to the forefront. So the Lakers are responsible. I know people hate to hear this, but the Lakers are responsible a lot for what we see in the modern NBA, from the telecasting to the cheerleaders to all these different things are things that start with the NBA and start with a lot of it starts with the Lakers. So yeah, check it out. There's a whole documentary on the Lakers if you want to ever watch it about.
All right. Let's...
what Jerry Buzz did, what Dr. Buzz did. And how he made this one of the better franchises in the league. So anyway,
that family is getting dude, you know what?
10 billion? Are you kidding?
After this sale, don't be shocked if your team starts becoming a front runner for Giannis Antetokounmpo, right? I'm gonna put it to you like this. Yeah. Put it into translation to Shohei Ohtani. He was with the Angels, right? Biggest name out there that was gonna become a free agent. All these teams were after him, right? Where did he end up going? He ended up going to a place where he knew he had the best chance to win a championship, but to be the spotlight of that place as well.
Yeah.
He went from base. I'm not saying Anaheim is a small market, but he went to a mid fan base to one of the largest fan bases there. Yeah. Milwaukee's not a big fan base. They're not.
Yeah.
Now go to LA. Watch what happens.
Let's just put it this way: Luka is going to dry his tears off with $100 bills. He'll be just fine. I know he was sad about leaving the Mavs, but the truth be told, man, when you got deep pockets behind you, it's different, right? It's different to be able to have stars in the building and have, when you're doing pitches and you've got Hollywood big names, in the process or in the works with them to try to get some of these players to sign. So, no, I'm excited to see what's going to happen, man. I think it's going to be really interesting. Ownership can make a difference. Look no further than the Golden State Warriors. The difference is night and day from whenever they went to Joe Lacob. Huge difference. We're talking about a team that went from not being at the forefront of anything, bottom of the league, nice come up story every once in a while. They went from that to being one of the most valuable, most profitable franchises in the NBA within about a 15-year, 10 to 15-year time period.
As of right now, after the Lakers sale, the Warriors are valued at $9.5 billion right now as a franchise. Doesn't happen if they don't make the moves that they do there. So yes, these kind of things set a different standard for your team as soon as it happens here. Look at ESPN trying to do a little tribute, like if they were inside the NBA.
Oh, they're trying.
Oh, they're trying. All right. Dorsberg, Richard Jefferson tonight. I was hoping he would swallow his mic, just have it just destroy him. God damn, some of the things he said, man. He was like, he doesn't speak good English, but he put good English on that ball on the backboard. God, this is getting worse than Kalena Azubuike and shit.
Well, Kalena Azubuike pretty trash, but yeah, I mean, he's supposed to be the comic relief, and so
we got rid of Van Gundy and Mark Jackson for that.
Yeah,
what? Shaq and Chuck should do the NBA Finals.
They're better. They're better at post and pre. I don't think they'd be good. I don't know how good they'd be during the game.
Only one way to find out, right?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Just let it happen.
Maybe ESPN will do that. That'd be a great idea. They just have a separate stream of the games with Shaq and Chuck doing commentary.
Kind of like the Manning cast, right?
Exactly.
The Manning cast, but then you'll have Chuck and Shaq. Oh, dude, I hope they fight. I hope we get an old man fight in that at least once. Once.
It's gonna be great because they'll basically be two old men, screaming at the sky. They're how bad basketball is and all this other garbage. But no, it should be interesting, and I'm curious to see what it looks like next year whenever they put these guys on ESPN. Because I don't know if Chuck is gonna make it. I'm being honest.
He's talking like he is. I don't think he
might not make it. He might not make it because he's gonna say something. And then it's going to be a big ruckus. He's been talking mess about Stephen A. for years. The fact that they'll be on the same network, man, is going to be really, really interesting. Talk about them on the same network. That's crazy, man. Crazy.
Man. What else we got to talk about? I mean, all right. Let me ask you this: the NBA season's over now, right?
Yeah.
OKC, obviously they're going to be the heavy favorites going into next year. We won't discuss that, but overall, like, what would be your recap of this season?
My recap of this season was holy crap. We had some of the weirdest highs and lowest lows. The weirdest high was Luka Doncic going to the Lakers. Who in the world thought that was going to happen? The weirdest low was this Phoenix Suns being the absolute worst team in the history of basketball, as far as it will being one of the worst teams. But then I think this season was really about team. I think that's what it was. It really took away from the star power that we're so used to seeing and talking about, and put a lot more emphasis on team. Between Oklahoma City and Indiana playing as well as they did this season, especially Oklahoma City, it really, really spoke to the fact that it is a team game. You need team players, and you need young talent across the board, not just 2 or 3 players to win. I don't think you saw a starker contrast than this season, where the difference between big name players and solid team, and we saw 2 solid teams make it to the finals. So I think that's the story of the season.
I think mine is the changing of the guard. This was the season where our generation talent is going to be gone at this point here.
Yeah, it kind of is.
So now we're going to be looking towards the newer faces of the NBA here. And the NBA's, dude, that's the one thing you got to love about NBA basketball is they have so much talent that's going to take over the face of the league. It never loses a beat, right? And then there's going to be one player that surprises everybody when it happens.
Yeah.
Right now, we don't know who's going to take over the face of the league, right? I'm going to be honest with you. There's no real name out there just yet. And we won't know until our generation leaves. But you're going to have guys like SGA and, I hate to say it, Jason Tatum. You got Ant Edwards. You still have Luka. You can even throw Anthony Davis in there as well. But you got guys who are lined up to be the face of this league, and not just a franchise, but the entire business, right? That's what the NBA has done so well, is they've been able to take, names like LeBron and then Curry, right? Nobody expected Curry to be the guy he is now. Yeah. And so the NBA really benefited from that. But you're going to have a guy that you need to market year in and year out, right? LeBron's been that guy for the last, 20 damn years?
Yeah.
Right? Very unheard of in times like that. But this is what the NBA is getting ready to just hand off to. Now we need to figure out who's going to be the taker of the league, right? Who's going to be the face of this league for the next 10 to 15 years? I don't know who it is going to be just yet, because there was a lot of inconsistency. So there was a bit of a fall off there. But if you could pick a face of the league, who are you saying it is? If you looked at the league now, given, our guys are way past their prime at this point, who would you say is going to be the face of this league for the next 10, 15 years?
Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever have another generational player like the ones that we've had in this particular era. And I think that's kind of the issue. So, the only reason we can even say that is because LeBron set that standard. And again, I'm not a LeBron fan, but there aren't really any other examples that are like that out there, where a player plays at this level for 20 years, 21 years. That's ridiculous.
High level.
High level. And so the idea that another player is going to come along and do that, it's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Another player is not going to come along and play 20 years at this level. Now, as far as who's next, I think the beauty of the next 5 years is that we don't know. I think that's the beauty of, we don't know who the face is going to be. It could be SGA. Maybe SGA comes back next year and gets it. Or maybe Luka, maybe the Lakers do something with Luka, and all of a sudden Luka's back in the Western Conference Finals. And now it's SGA and Luka or whoever. It could go any way. Or maybe the Warriors get that one final push, and all of a sudden it changes things a little bit. But going forward, you just don't know. We don't know. We don't know who the next player is. And that's because we don't have 1 or 2 super dominant players right now. We're so used to we were so used to seeing LeBron and Stephen Curry in the finals, for 8 straight years or whatever, for a long time. Either LeBron or Curry. No matter what, it was one of them 2 guys were playing in the finals for almost, 10 straight years? It was crazy, because you had LeBron in the finals with the Heat, almost two out of 2 or 3 years, you know, and then you or 4 years, and then you had the Curry situation after that. Then you had LeBron with Cleveland going back. They went back and forth for 2 or 3 years straight. So it was just, you know, I don't know if we'll ever see anything like that again. I hope we do, but I don't know if we'll see 2 generational players in the same league at the same time dominating like that. I don't know. Last time we seen it was Magic and Bird, right? Where those guys were always back and forth in the finals, right? And so after this, I think it's going to be a toss-up. I think anybody can win the damn finals, in my opinion. That's why we've had a different winner every single time. So I think it's up in the air, in my opinion. I don't know if there's a face yet, just because of how spread apart across the league the talent is, and that's what the NBA wanted, and that's what they got.
I'm not mad at it. I'm really not mad at it. So these next few years, as we get ready to do the swan song for all these old farts, you know, like I said, you know, now that this season's over, I'm gonna just speak on behalf of Warrior fans. Get ready, because it's about to be a very long 2 years, and we got to say goodbye to. You're gonna say goodbye to Draymond, tough, man. You're gonna say goodbye to Steph. You're gonna say goodbye to Steve. Steve Curry ain't coming back once they retire. Once they're retired, they're done. Like this, Phil Jackson did the same exact damn thing. He knew that he wasn't winning no more. Bob Myers left. You know why? Because he knew this was going to be as good as it got, right? So he left while he was on top. So you're going to say goodbye to these guys. And that's why, you know, you really got to appreciate, no matter how bad these seasons are about to get, if we get great seasons, fantastic. But get ready, because don't be shocked if the Warriors don't make moves and they want to say, hey, we're going to sacrifice. We're going to ride into the sunset. Maybe we'll take some draft picks, but we're going to end this with what got us here.
Right, exactly.
And they'll just, I won't be mad at that, because we may not get that kind of treatment again. And as a Laker fan, you know that too.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's it's fun to watch, but when we get the chance to see the end of an era, we're always looking for that next thing, and I think it may take some years. Now, OKC has the opportunity to submit themselves as a dynasty, but from watching basketball as long as I have, I know that's not always the case. They said the same thing about the Denver Nuggets. Denver Nuggets ain't been back.
Hey, we may not see another repeat champion again.
Yeah, right. Not for a while.
May not. Yeah,
not for a while. Yeah, it's gonna be some time. So, three-peats, all that stuff we're used to seeing, or back-to-backs. Well,
man, ain't gonna be happening for too long.
Might not be happening. Yep, not be happening.
A lot of talent in this league. I love how everything's just loaded to the West too.
For the most part, yeah, it really is. They need to fix that. They need to fix that.
There's too much talent in the West.
KD could have went to the Heat, but I don't know if that would have changed anything. But nope, he's still in the West, still out west. Well, it's fried chicken time.
Yes, it is.
And so that we know what that means. That means that it's time for us to go.
Just bleeding through this household right now, man. I can't wait.
Oh man, it's always dinner time for B, and we will be back next Sunday at 7:30. We'll get the chance to maybe talk a little bit about the off season because the draft is coming up next
Lord,
week.
What's gonna happen? I woke up this morning, I was yelled out, "Holy shit!"
Yeah,
like, what's going on? I was like, "Oh, Katie went to Houston," and I had no idea this was even in the talks.
Yeah, there it goes. So hopefully, other dominoes fall. The draft is coming up. Off season for the Lakers and the Warriors definitely start to take on, start to solidify, or we can at least start talking about it. I'll say that. And then football's about a month away before we start getting into preseason. So a lot of stuff to get into.
Brandon Pajemski's the #1 Golden State Valkyrie fan. It's a little sickening to watch, but it's fun. He'd be doing too much on the sidelines though, man.
Hey man, he's trying to stay in Golden State. That's all that is. Trying to make sure he don't get traded.
If he shot better and played better defense, he'd still be with this team. That's plain and simple.
That's rough. All right, y'all. Until next time, we'll see y'all later. Don't forget to like and subscribe.